As my colleague has mentioned earlier, this is a first-time experience for us in Edo State, where we will transit government from one party to another. Although, in working since the elections came to an end, we were also reflecting that, okay, everybody, we are friends, we know each other, so we anticipate and expect and have designed the processes to ensure very seamless, very collaborative deliberations, having at the back of our minds the good citizens of Edo State.
I've heard what you said, SSD, use of the beverage. I thought that you were the deputy of the economic team when we were in power. We worked well then. I hope you continue to do so. But let me say, like you said, this job is time bound. We call for massive cooperation to ensure that we get all we need to get within the shortest possible time. But we need to go through them, sensitize them, and brief the government so that he can hit the ground when he wants to come back. You need to be well aware of the habits of government before he came on board. And in doing so, we need information from you, documentary, hard copy, and soft copy where the case arises. So we want to ensure that this is done within the prescribed time.
Okay, so that's a snippet of the inaugural meeting of the Edo State Transition Committee. Of course, Transition Committee is a merging of two transition teams of the outgoing and the incoming. I like former Deputy Governor Honorable Pius Odubu put it there. Okay, there is actually one committee, but of course they've got two different teams coming to meet. And so the idea is to put out in details, whether in audio, in visual, hard or soft copy, details of government involvement, partnership, businesses, income, investment, project in the last 8 years. And for the record, this is the first time in Edo State we're having an actual transition being done. Even if there have been pseudo transition committee being created, but what it usually entailed was were copies of hard copies being presented at one formal meeting, and that was one. Sometimes they don't even read because a lot of the times these guys will rely on hearsay and all that. And again, another very important thing here I'm saying while I'm doing this video is that there is also the information there that the permanent secretaries in the ministries are actually the ones standing in to represent the government. It's because, of course, they are still going to be the one working for the incoming government, which again is fair by me. This is not to celebrate or to castigate. I want to tell you that actual work is being done, and I'm quite impressed. I have taken it upon myself to follow in details what's going to happen in the Transitional Committee. And my worry is that while this is going on, there is a clown somewhere called Shaibu who is making videos and calling on DSS and EFCC. He wasn't even worthy enough to have been out there. Okay, and maybe he can't. He says he's deputy governor, so he's not supposed to be in the committee. Except there's a script that Shaibu is playing, which obviously we cannot deny that there's a script he's playing. I thought he would have waited for this transition committee to come out with details of the conversations and encounters and be able to say, okay, these records are not straight. Shaibu coming before the transition committee to come and start to detail and say all this is obviously there's a script being played. So it will water down. And if Shaibu is smart enough and the people advising him, I would have waited for the document and everything to be done with, the whole processes to be done with, and then you can say, okay, you are not so comfortable with A, B, and C. You leaving what work is being done that you're not even part of, to be on social media saying you're having press briefing actually mean there is a challenge we must look at. And I'm only worried because this is already having ethnic undertone. It is not the first time that it's unfortunate. The last election was quite polarized along ethnic lines. But if you notice, one advantage that the Edo people have, I'm talking with the Benin speaking people of Edo State, is that we are detribalized and then we are quite very, very politically exposed. And so that's why I see that most of the Edo persons will go on to voting anybody. Oshomole had gotten the highest number of votes from Edo South, irrespective of whether there's an Edo man. At the point where Pius Ojubu, who was a Benin man, right, a very high-ranking Benin person, where he was having political challenge with the former governor Commandant Soshomole, the Benin people stood with Soshomole, irrespective. I'm saying this here now. At other times, it was now Obaseki said he was going to hand over to an Esan man. Of course, Oshomole, in his own element, Benin, refused to adhere to the fact that Esan people deserve governorship. And then he went on to say he was going to give it to a Benin man, Denis Idausa. Benin people still said in their heart that we are going to vote in Esan man. In fact, one of the things that worked against Olumide, but I'm sorry to say, right, was the fact that though he was a very credible candidate, at the time, Benin people were saying it is time to give it to them. You never hear that from national conversation, and I give it other. However, there is a quite very distinctive tribal undertone that is coming out from Philip Shaibu's already campaign, and you can see it very evidently. While very many places are going to sit to look at, a few of us are saying, take it easy, and don't cross boundaries, as it were. I'm quite happy that this transition committee has taken time to build on nothing and actually have something that, moving forward, it will not be a culture of excellence for government, whether they come in or not, whether you like them or not, happens. This should happen. Whether this government is going to spend 6 months, is going to spend 1 year, spend 4 years, it's none of our business. What should be done should be done. And kudos to Obaseki and his team, and kudos to the team that are representing the incoming government in all of this. It shows that we can actually begin to have a very sane position of things. Unfortunately, for some of us, we want to have development as we cry we deserve, but then things like these are things that would actually determine whether development will come or not. Unfortunately, that is it. So I'm keeping my eyes very closely on Felix Shaibu. I'm keeping my eyes very closely on him. He seems to know more than we should, and I want to know why he's budging. Of course, again, like I've said, if I were Obaseki, go to Obaseki, maybe I would have had a different outlook about this. But then, looking at what I split, that it meant that one of them had to go down. Shaibu had a chance to have impeached or dealt with Obaseki. Because when I hear Shaibu say a lot of the things he said now, I laugh, because in 2020, Shaibu had to sacrifice his relationship with Adam Soshomole to follow Obaseki. It means that he was benefiting from whatever friendship he had with Obaseki. Your ambition to becoming governor wasn't supposed to be, and then the man said, oh, maybe the man should have said the no in the mouth. Sometimes to say they come ahead and rubbish. All right, so I'm going to keep tabs. I'm trusting that we'll have development coming from the transition committee sittings, and they'll be able to put it out here for everybody to see. And then where the governor faulted, we should say it. Where the governor did well, we should also say it. I think it's high time that we looked at that holistically. I'll catch another time. Of course, I'm just saying that we'll follow up on all other stories relating to the handover till the inauguration. Catch another time. Bye for now.